In 2012, Patrice Patel became the director of performing arts for the biggest international school theater in the Middle East. And it was there she started creating her own original work, including choreography, scripts, music, costumes, and set design, receiving high accolades for all her musicals. This inspired Patrice to start Gobsmacked Productions, which launched in 2014 in Taronga, New Zealand. She has now directed and produced 35 original school musicals in New Zealand and the Middle East over the last 9 years in both Christian, public, and private schools. She interweaves parallels from the Bible and strong morals and values throughout her musicals. Patrice has come all the way from New Zealand to speak to you about Godsmacked Ministries, and she can't wait to share with you how God gave her the vision to start this ministry and how you too can gift your talents back to God in a powerful and effective way. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Patrice Patel.
Hello? Oh, hello, I'm on. Hey, well, thank you so much. I'm so excited to be here in the land of the kangaroos and the koalas and the poisonous snakes and the poisonous spiders. I'm very happy to be here. Hey, it's just such a privilege and an honour to be here, and praise God, Charmaine, for the vision that God gave you to set up this conference so that you can platform creatives to show how God is working through us and that we can share with you guys what God has been doing. So I'm just super excited to be here, and I've actually entitled tonight's talk on how to be a Pied Piper for Jesus. And I think, I thought that in Pied Piper, we always think of the Pied Piper. Everyone follows the Pied Piper. But then when I looked it up, it wasn't actually that good of a story. 1268, the Pied Piper came into a village and he played his fiddle, and 150 children actually followed him out, and they were never to be seen again. That's the true story of the Pied Piper. So I'm like, okay, well, I'm here. I was going to encourage all of you guys to be Pied Pipers for Jesus, but I don't want to encourage you guys to kidnap children and that. But look, the idea of being a Pied Piper for Jesus is playing that tune that when you have Jesus in your heart, when you're playing the tune of Jesus, people will not be able to help themselves but follow you, because God is in your hearts and you're leading and you're the hands and feet of Jesus, and hey, people follow. And we all, sitting here, we all have a certain crowd that follows each one of us. I can't attract the people that you attract. God has a plan for all of us. And when we really dig deep, and sometimes it's when God has to get us to the most humble point in our lives, when we truly listen, our ears are open, our eyes are open, okay, we're like, okay, God, here I am. I hear you. And I'm going to be sharing my testimony tomorrow about how God created Gobsmacked Productions and how it was just miracle after miracle. And yeah, and definitely it wasn't something that the devil wanted to see happen. And I'll be sharing that and all of that tomorrow. But I'm going to give you guys a little bit of a sneak listen in tonight. So I want to go into, let me have a look, go to the next one. Does this clicker work? What do I point to? Do I point it up here? Oh, no. Okay, holding down the green button. Oh, okay. Oh, yeah, got it. Here we go. Oh, yeah, here we go. All right, so John 10:10, the thief comes only to steal, kill, and destroy. I have come that they may have life and life to the full. Now, that verse resonated with me because, as I said, look, the devil did not want to see Gobsmacked Productions and the plan that God had for my life. And 4 years ago, I started Gobsmack Productions 9 years ago it was, and God platformed me in a position that is just a complete miracle. And I was praying, Lord, you know I want to merge my primary teaching with my performing arts. Can you please make that happen somehow? And I don't know, for some reason, I only know that it is God, but I was at a conference, it was a massive conference in London, and all the teachers from all the international schools come from all over the world, and they come to London, and if you would like to be a part of one of the international schools, then you have to pay 350 British pound and go to this conference, and you can line up for any world curriculum sort of school, IB school, and you can be interviewed. But I was living in London at the time, and I loved London. I didn't know if I wanted to leave London, so I'm like, I'm not paying 350 British pound if I don't want to leave London. I wasn't sure, so I didn't pay the money. Then I got a phone call, and this principal, he was a principal of one of the international schools, and he said, hey, look, I know I'm not meant to do this, but your boss has highly recommended that I interview you. I was like, oh, really? And he's like, yeah, I'm here for that conference, the big international schools conference. I was like, oh, yeah, that's right, that's on this weekend. And he's like, hey, well, I'm here. I've just finished all the interviews for the day. Where are you? I'm like, oh, I'm on Oxford Street. He goes, so am I. We were 10 metres from each other. London, there's 11 million people there, right? We were 10 metres from each other. And we met in an underground Starbucks cafe. And there, he thought he was interviewing me for a primary teaching job. And I told him, my dream would be to do performing arts. And he goes, really? He goes, we've just built the biggest theatre in the international schools at my school, Cairo English School. I'm like, what? He's like, yeah, we've just built it. It's brand new, and it's the biggest theatre in all international schools in the Middle East. I'm like, oh. And I go, well, I've done the highest grades in the world for ballet, tap, and modern, but I've got no experience teaching performing arts in, international schools. And I just kept talking to him, and he goes, I know you don't have the experience teaching in international schools, and you've been doing primary teaching, but he goes, I reckon you can do it. And I'm like, okay. And then my partner at the time, he'd gone back to Australia, and so he interviewed him, and he became the head of PE, and so we both went as directors of these big international school in Cairo English School. And that is where I learnt everything I had to know. I had my own tailor. I could design the costumes and tell the tailor what to make. I had my own builder, and I could design what I wanted for my sets, and he would just go make it. And I had about 20 Egyptian men that would just run around me. And they're like, what do you want me to do? I'm like, okay, well, can you do this? So my only job was to get 2,000 children up on the stage throughout the year. And I had to break down all my musicals. So I started writing everything from scratch. And so I'd have a year 1 and 2 musical, 350 kids, year 3 and 4, 350 kids, and right up to high school. And so I could get the whole school on the stage in productions. And so honestly, I'm just living the dream life. I'm praising God every day. Thank you so much. This is the best. And so it was amazing. My first musical took me 10 weeks, and then I just got it less and less and less. And then 2 years later, a year into it, after my first musical, we're we can do a business out of this. So we started, obviously, writing everything from scratch, making everything possible, and doing the logo, came up with the name Gobsmacked, and it was amazing. It was like a dream, like a whirlwind of crazy events. And then came to Tauranga, New Zealand, and it was yet small enough, but yet big enough, and we thought this is a great place to start a business. So went into the first school, and said, this is what we do, we can do this, we can pull it off for you in 4 weeks, and you can have a full musical. Obviously, no one believed that was possible, and every school rejected me, except for one principal. One principal, but it only takes one, right? And that one principal, he took me on, and we invited all the other principals to come watch it. And we said, well, just come and watch what we do. And yeah, from then school started to take me on. So then every second year, they would take me on again. So every school I've ever done in Tauranga have all kept me on. So now I'm like full-time, stretched to the limit. Can't take any more on. So anyway, that was where it was. For 5 years, things went amazing. It was just amazing. I felt I had my whole life. Everything was awesome. But you know what? It's true. 4 years ago, my world shattered. Everything that I ever knew and believed in and thought was going to be there forever, everything started crumbling. And everything just around me didn't make sense anymore. And I kind of compare it to like the worst time that I felt the most just like when I went to India, and as a primary teacher, we went over and we did like these big practicums, and we did overnight trains in India from one city to the next. If you've ever been on an Indian train, you know what I'm talking about. And so I like woke up in the middle of the night and I'm like, oh, Delhi belly, oh my goodness. And so I'm like, okay, I need to go find, and I'm going to vomit. So I'm like running, and I can't find the toilet anywhere. There's like these bars. I'm like, okay, that's the next bit. I'm going to have to go out the window, vomit out the window. So I'm vomiting out the window, but I went the wrong way, so it like all came back in my face. So I've got like vomit all over me, and I'm just like through my hair, and I'm like, still obviously need to go, like I am just a mess. So I find the toilet. I go in, there's poo sprayed up, all the sides of the walls. Like, I mean, it's disgusting. And then I look down, and it's a hole in the ground, and you can see the train tracks just going like that. And you're like, vomit in my hair, poo sprayed, and I'm just like here. Yeah. So that is how I compare and parallel where I was in my personal life. I'm telling you, I didn't want to wake up in the morning. Like, I was delirious. I was just like, nothing made sense in my life. Like, it was an absolute mess. And to get to that point, just, I would not wish it upon anybody. And yeah, it was so hard to have that realization of where you were at. And yeah, I had to dig deep and fall on my knees and pray, Lord, how do I get from this point to the next point? Because I don't want to wake up in the morning. I'd rather be dead than alive. And if you've been to that place in your life, you know what I mean. And so I was like, God, just always quietly saying, have faith. Have faith in me. And 1 Corinthians 1:27-31, you know, God chooses the most foolish things of the world to shame the wise. He chose the weak things of the world to shame the strong. He chose the lowly things of the world and the despised things and the things that are not to nullify the things that are, so that no one may boast before him. And it's because of him that you are in Jesus Christ, who has become for us wisdom from God. That is our righteousness, holiness, and redemption. And therefore, as it is written, let the one who boasts, boast in the Lord. And so here I was, and I was like, yeah, I've got to do it by faith. And you know, you think of the Bible and you think, the Bible is full of the most unholy people. But God uses us. He uses the most unholy, the weakest people. And he does the biggest things with their life. And why does he do the biggest things with the people who are the weakest? People who you think would never, ever. You'd think they'd be the least person that would ever be chosen by God to do anything. And it's because God works best in our weakness. And he shines the strongest. When you know that boulder can't be moved in your life, that's only a miraculous deed of God. When you know that can only be done by God. Yeah. So God brought me to this verse, Hebrews 11:1-4. Now faith is confidence in what we hope for and assurance about what we do not see. This is what the ancients were commended for. And so, by faith, he took me to Hebrews here. By faith, we understand that the universe was formed at God's command. By faith, Enoch was taken from life. And you think of all these people, they really didn't know what, but they trusted in God and they had faith in God. Noah, he didn't know that he didn't need to build an ark, but he did. He was warned about the things he had not seen. And in faith, he built that ark. Abraham, he was called. And yet, in faith, and look what happened, the descendants of Abraham, because he had faith. With faith, Sarah, 99 years old. Remember, we still serve the same God today. Abraham tested, offering his son by faith. He did that. This is the sort of faith that we need. By faith, Moses' parents hid him for 3 months. Can you imagine parting with your baby? This is the sort of faith that God expects from us. And by faith, Moses, when he had grown, he refused to be known as a son of Pharaoh's daughter. How do you know these things? It's only God, right? By faith, the people passed through the Red Sea. And by faith, the walls of Jericho fell. And by faith, he used a prostitute, Rahab. Not rehab. Anyway, so this is when God gave me a vision. And it was a supernatural experience coming out, and I'm going to share that tomorrow about how God gave me this vision. But God gave me this vision, and it was so clear. It was a repetitive dream that I kept on having, and it was like, okay, Patrice, you're in all these schools now. You have got all these children, all these teachers, all these schools. Now I want you to start Gobsmack Ministries. And he gave me this vision that he wanted me to put it out there, that I'm going to do a holiday program. And it's going to be about God. Be honest, it's going to be about God. But you're going to teach them through the performing arts, through dance, drama, and choirs and songs and music. So I put it out there. And my musicals, yes, they are all morals and values. And of course, I write Christian ones for the Christian schools, but I knew that I'd be putting this out to the community, and there'd be people I thought, are going to be deterred that it's about God. We won't come to that holiday program. Well, in 2 days, I had to cut the numbers. 160 children signed up. They weren't Christian. They just saw gobsmacked, and they wanted to come. And so then I cut the numbers up, and then we had the holiday program. I invited all my youth leaders that I had growing up who believed in me and were just stoked to come up, and they directed choirs. I had so many people come to support it, and we did drama and dances. And so this was when we first had COVID hit. And so God gave me this vision, right? You need to show them how to be a light in the darkness that we're living in right now. With COVID going on, it was the Beirut explosion, and it was the Black Rights Movement. So I did a whole drama and dance and drama all about that. And then after that, I ran not a holiday program, a weekly ministry every week. And I teach nearly 2,000 children a year. It'll be 2,000 to 3,000 next year. And I started to have all these children come weekly, don't know God, but they're coming. And I'm teaching them about God. And I did music videos with them, and I've done teaching them dance and dramas, but, teaching them stories about God. And then last year, we had to move it to another church. And because we just had so many children, and we had this time over 240 children sign up. And we had, I had more volunteers come, and I just had people come, like God brought the perfect team together. And from there, we did it all about, that one was all about being amazing in the world that we live in. And we were able to bring in a special speaker and just talk truth into these lives. And all the parents, we invite all the parents and the families to come and watch the children perform what they only learn in just 2 days. And they come and they're just like blown away. It's a testament in itself with how much children can learn in just 2 days. And then they're performing and they're ministering back. And we had about 700 family and friends come to watch. And it's like, little do they know they're coming for a full-on church service. I mean, it's praise and worship. Their kids are leading out. And then we have like a speaker come and talk to them, like full-on preacher. And then they have the dramas that their kids are in. And honestly, like, it's just so beautiful. And so then I've just finished one last week. And yeah, we had, once again, so many people come. And this time, like this beginning of this year, God put on my heart, all right, Patrice, I want you to teach the children in your weekly ministry about the stories of Daniel. And I want you to show everything that has happened in the Bible, all these prophecies that have come true, and the last thing yet to happen is Jesus coming. So I entitled the holiday program, The Final Empire. And I don't know if you've heard about this, you know, the big blow-up statue that you have for Daniel? Yeah. So I had one of the ministers bring that down last week. And we were like, yeah, we'll put that up on the stage, it'll be great. But it was like motorized, you know, with a fan and everything. Oh my goodness, it was going, and so we had like quickly not use that. It's a bit daunting. And so anyway, I had someone who seriously, she quickly drew the most amazing statue of Nebuchadnezzar overnight. Like, I mean, honestly, like God brought everything together. And it's just like, it just blows my mind, like literally the perfect team that came together. Everyone who came together, and you just see the whole church packed with people who don't know God. And they're there, probably for the first time, hearing this ministry. I mean, hearing this news about, oh yeah, okay, prophecy does go through the Bible. And so then I also had my music producer. I brought my music producer, which I'll tell you about tomorrow. But he came, and he's been there, done over 120 songs for Gobsmacked. And I brought him out for the first time in 9 years since I've been working with him. So he's from America, brought him out, and he wrote a song especially for it. And wow, it was amazing. So which I'm going to do for the workshop tomorrow. So if you know any children or anyone or any adults, if you want to learn it, we're going to be a part of that tomorrow. I'm going to teach you that. We can do it in one, and we're going to present it after. It's going to be fun. Spread the word. It'll be great. So that's going to be tomorrow afternoon's workshop. But yeah, like, it blows my mind. Like, I would never ever think that I'd be here where I am today at all. And I think, you know, like, God wants us, he wants us to lay aside the things that easily entangle us. He wants us to make sure that we run the race. And if we keep holding on to the things, our mistakes, the things that we've done wrong, the things that we don't think we're worthy enough, all these things that we hold on to it, we're never going to truly find the path that God has for each and every one of us. And that's what happens, is that we hold on to it and just think, no, I'm not good enough. Hey, well, everyone in the Bible wasn't good enough. Do you know what sort of people are in the Bible? I mean, they're not the greatest people, but when Jesus came into their heart, when Jesus came into my heart, I mean, look what God does, and that's the thing. We humble ourselves completely, and then God does it. And then no one can boast about it. And you know that Jesus is fully working through you, and he does the most unimaginable things. And so, yeah, he has platformed me to be doing what I'm doing today. And I'm just completely in awe that I get to be able to carry out his work. And I'm excited, and the visions that I keep on getting and the miracles that I keep on receiving day in, day out. Do you know how amazing it is to feel like you are right where you're meant to be in life? That you are actually living out what God wants you to live. I don't know about you, but I don't want to get to 70 years old and go, you know, I don't think that I fully gave God the complete surrendering of my life so I can see the unimaginable happen. And I know I don't want to be one of those people. And we know that, you know, Jesus died on the cross. He died on the cross to set us free. But I don't think that's enough for all of us, is it? That's not enough for all of us. We all know that we're set free from what he did on the cross. It says in the last days, the workers are going to be few. And I want to be one of those few that carry out that good work. And we see the worlds of the lives around us change. And we see the world just completely change because we surrender. And if we all did our part, imagine the sort of world we would live in. And so, hey, look, performing arts is what God has asked me to carry out. And I know that I must be faithful to that calling and continue. And I can't wait. And I'm already starting to see the fruits of what he's doing in my life. And I can't wait to see what else he's got in store. And I know that there's so much more in store. So yes, God used my pain. He used my crazy story. And now I have the empathy, the understanding, and I have people that come to me and open up and tell me everything, and I'm able to help them. And I can say, you know what? If I can do it, you can do it. God can use you as well. And so I just really encourage all of you, lean into God, surrender it all, and then God will do the most amazing things in your life. Serve God with your spiritual gifts. And last one, fix your eyes on Jesus and everything will work out. Thank you.